Hey guys, welcome to another episode from The Average Rider. I'm providing this update after a long gap with everything going on in the world as well as my life. In the last 2 years, I think everybody's life has been kind of in a tailspin with the coronavirus and all sorts of lockdowns, etc. I haven't been able to ride as much as I would want to, but I have been going around a little bit, and I did have a move between states. I moved up from Arizona to the Pacific Northwest, and I'm loving the weather here. Arizona did have one advantage where you could ride throughout the year. Here during winters, you have to be really brave enough to go in the severe cold and rain. With that out of the way, let's talk about my experience with the Honda CBR650F. The things I love, what I hate about it. I've owned 4 other motorcycles, going from an R6 ZX6RR, C650 Boulevard, C50 Boulevard, and then CBR 300. And then this one was to try to move closer to a sports bike, but had a little bit better comfort, and that's why I picked this one compared to the competition. And after about 3,000 miles of riding this motorcycle, I think I can say from a plus points perspective, it's extremely stable, super comfortable at interstate speed. So you could pretty much do 75-80 miles per hour all day, and tour. You could even tour across the world if you wanted and never have an issue. It's been superbly reliable. It has more than enough power. Pretty much in the third gear you will be at get to jail speeds, right? So the power is very peaky, so the acceleration is never overwhelming with the initial accelerator pull. Once you get into the higher RPM, that's when the power starts hitting, and that's when it starts pulling even harder. From a minus points perspective, I would say after moving to this vehicle, initially I was very happy when I moved up from the 300 to the 650 because it had super power. It was very quickly pulling at the recommended highway speeds. Like here you can see me, I'm accelerating, and very quickly I can pull myself up all the way close to 90 miles per hour. No issues there. Just need to drop a gear down and then boom, power hits you. With the 300 I'll have to be pretty much full throttle to get to 85. That was a different way of riding it, but we are still keeping to the speeds of the highway. The issue with this bike though is it is really heavy. There's heavy as a dog, no pun intended. One of the heaviest motorcycles I've owned. I think the weight along with the inline 4 makes it really kind of sluggish in the lower RPM and the lower speed range, so you will not find the ride as exciting as, let's say, FZ7 or SV650 or Ninja 650 at the speeds up to highway speeds. So beyond that is where this one becomes a demon and they drop off, right? So it'll be a perfect track day weapon, but you would need to do a little bit of modifications, but it'll be really good, and it can definitely go head to head with the other motorcycles that I mentioned and probably beat them if your track has a longer straight, right? At the curvier part of the sections, probably the other bikes will catch up to you, depending on the rider ability, right? You could be a very cool rider with this motorcycle. The nags, I would say a lot of the other motorcycles that I mentioned earlier, they do better in the areas even with lesser power, and they provide a more addictive, exciting riding experience. This sadly does lack the energy that the competition brings. What I do enjoy about this motorcycle is the reliability. It's no frills, just gets the job done, and you could go state to state on this thing all day. It is so smooth. The engine is extremely smooth. It's perfect rider for a man who wants to do, or a woman who wants to do an occasional track day and then take it on the weekends to the twisties. Why would you want to buy one? Of course, Honda. It's they're reliable as it gets. And then occasional sport days, as I mentioned, long distance touring. If you're just sticking into this same city, you're not planning to go touring, I would not even recommend this bike, which sadly I fall into that bucket, but now I'm learning, so I'm just passing that information to help you guys. With that, I think I'm done covering this motorcycle. Hope everybody is recovering from the COVID situation wherever you are. Cheers and peace, guys. Talk to you later.